tracks up the mountain. Now everybody's looking for me. Spend my life in the desert till something changed inside of me. Now I'm flying over oceans. Everybody looking at me. I can run this town. Oh.
This is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. Feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Just the way you like it. The way you like it. So good, so fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
I'll keep going till my feet become blow. I'll keep going till my feet become blow. I'll keep going till my feet become blow. I'll keep going till my I'll keep going till my I'll keep go till my feet become. I'll keep going till my feet become blow. 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 Going till my feet become blow. I'll keep going till my feet become blow. I'll keep going till my feet become blow. I'll keep going till my I'll keep going till my I'll keep go till my feet become blow. I'll keep going till my feet become blow. I'll keep going till my feet become blow. I'll keep going till my feet become blow.
ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, and Kidia.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to ESL Challenger League Season 50. We're now in South America. We've had a hot day of action across multiple regions, but we're going to be kicking things off in the South American side of things today. I'm Naira Mizuki, or Sam. I'm going to be one of your casters today, and I'm joined once again by the wonderful Grimmy Rana. Freddie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I think the ECL crew and the ECL fans are probably getting a bit tired of me. It was just on Europe. I had a really exciting game there between Sinners and Monty in the lower bracket. Monty advanced forward. A bit of slog. But yeah, no, doing pretty good. Counter-Strike is alive and budding. How you doing, Sam?
Yeah, looking forward to tonight. It's been good to kind of hop in and out on some of these ECL broadcasts. I'm such a big fan of Grassroots. So as much as you could call ECL Grassroots,
I was gonna say,
like a lot of these teams.
That's a stretch.
In that it's not tier 1, it is Grassroots. We'll put it like that. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of where the teams are trying to build up for those opportunities, those big opportunities, VRS points, the opportunity to play at EPL, which obviously we just had Season 22 wrapping up recently. The unsurprising victor there, but yeah, really, really exciting stuff. Some really cool matches. So we're looking to see who the next big name in Pro League is going to be. Now, over here in South America, we've got a cool matchup for you guys. ODDIK versus Red Canids coming in. And taking a look at kind of their journey to get here, and we'll throw up the bracket as well. It's been a bit hectic for them over the first couple of cups, and now with Bestia not being in this cup, they actually, both of them, stand a far better chance than they did in some of the previous cups.
Yeah, a lot of the big names have already been knocked out or just kind of weren't here to begin with. So MIBR, previous winner, didn't join this cup. Bestia didn't join this cup. So when you look at ODDIK and Red Canids, you'd throw Sharks into the equation and also feature them as a pretty favorable team. But Sharks were really knocked out for the count, and both these teams have already had some pretty impressive scalps. So for Red Canids beating 2Game, that's the previous ESL Cup South America finalist. They lost to MIBR. Uara don't seem like too big of oh, you beat Uara, kind of so what. Uara have been so annoying for so many of these teams. Like, they knocked Bestie into the lower bracket and like eliminated them in the previous cup. For ODDIK, they beat Gaming Gladiators, who they actually played up against in the Fergie LAN in the third place decider after they had a very impressive run there coming up into the major. So it's been a good run for both of these teams. They're in the upper bracket, and they're looking to see if they can crown themselves their champions in ESL Cup 3 and make it through to the regional qualifiers.
Yeah, admittedly, I was a little bit disappointed. I see 4Magic is there. They actually had to forfeit their first game and lost their second game. Bit of a rough one. That's ESL Impact represent. But yeah, I think, for the most part, things are going as predicted. And as you said, with two of the top teams that have already qualified no longer being in here. I mean, Red Canids, I think in both Cup 1 and Cup 2, they were knocked out by Bestia. And it was quite a deep run that they had made before that happened as well. So maybe this will be their cup to make some magic happen. And speaking of magic, well, we need a player to watch, and that's going to be the player that brings the magic. Hopefully, this is a relatively new addition to the Red Canids roster, Freddy.
I thought you were going to be have some blasphemy for a second. Bring the magic, Che Jesus. There was something. There was definitely something there. I'm disappointed. But what I'm not disappointed in is Che Jesus. Red Canids, this was their Hail Mary play. Right before the major cutoff, they were like, you know what? He's on offer. He's been out of active gameplay for a little bit since the Austin Major with Imperial. So he's played at tier 1 level. I think his quote when he left was, or when he got benched, was like, I have immeasurable I'm upset that I'm immeasurably upset that I didn't deliver, like I couldn't deliver my all on this roster, right? So he comes away very upset with himself, comes into Red Canids. I had zero expectations for them, but you know what, he's gone and qualified for a major with them. Red Canids, they inch in quite literally the final spot to come out of the Americas, specifically their final in the Circuit X, the final LAN before the cutoff. They lost to MIBR, no shame in that. They beat the likes of Fluxo, and amusingly enough, they were actually quite literally only a couple points above ODDIK in the ranking. ODDIK were 11th to qualify, Red Canids were 10th. Only 10 teams qualify, and Che Jesus was one of the main reasons why they were able to succeed so much on that LAN, and hopefully he's going to be one of the main reasons to pull them into potentially a Pro League qualification spot.
I mean, hopefully they'll keep him on the roster once they, make it to Pro League. Anyways, let's take a look at our veto as well. We've got our bans coming through here. I think, it's completely predicted bans. This is very much what they normally move into. The real question mark is obviously going to be with those picks, because as I understand it, Red Canids like to pick into that Mirage. So having that off the board, that's going to push them towards a nuke.
Yeah, this is always going to be a difficult veto for Red Canids, and it's shown in their, like, these teams will play each other a lot, right? In the last two occasions, even though they're both within a month ago, one was before Che Jesus joined and one was after. The veto changes a lot, but it's by the by pretty similar when it comes to the picks. Red Canids, they did beat ODDIK in overtime on this map on LAN. ODDIK have actually lost 8 nukes in a row. This is a real weakness for them. But are we just going to have somewhat maybe of a similar trajectory? Overpass, same map. ODDIK picked it, they won it. Difference this time though, Ancient, not the decider. It's going to be Train, where previously Red Canids picked into it against ODDIK, but ODDIK 13-0 them. That was pre Mr. Jesus. So you got to put, BC before Christ on that. But still, like, that's a pretty insane result.
If we put BC before Che, I feel like that, it works too. to be fair. But yeah, I think that this is going to be a really, really interesting one. Should we actually get to that third map? Obviously, it's still a bit of a slog to get there. First and foremost, you know, we mentioned Nuke the last time. It was an overtime that it went into, so quite a long one on that. And if I'm not mistaken, that was a map 3 as well. So just a really, really uphill battle in that regard. And then the Overpass, ODDIK had the favor the last time around. So I'm very curious to see how this is going to end up going. But obviously, we've spoken a little bit now about Che, and that's somebody that obviously sticks out. But there are a few other names here I feel like that probably stick out as well, right? Like coldzera is always going to be a name that sticks out. If you're not paying attention to a player like that, well then you really should get your eyes checked. Venom Zera is somebody that has really been like popping up a lot more on my radar, and I don't know if it's just because he's got Zera in his name and that makes it stand out more, or if he really is as good as I think he is. But as far as I've seen, he's actually put up some decent numbers, so keep an eye out there and see if he can keep that going.
I mean, yeah, Venom Zera, to be fair to him, has always been wicked. And you were mentioning coldzera, and I'm glad you did, because this is a bit of a grudge match, not only for ODDIK as a whole, because they're playing against a team that quote-unquote robbed them of a major, but coldzera is playing against his old team, and it was a turbulent time on Red Canids. He ended up AWPing for a little bit, which is probably a point in history that he would want to forget. So yeah, this is a really big grudge match for him to play up against his kind of old brethren and show that he wasn't the issue, even though they've already qualified for the major. So this game doesn't have kind of that same importance. Woody, though, he's the big issue of Woody has always been kind of like the AWPing, IGLing, and is he actually able to put up good enough numbers as the AWPer while being IGL? Like, that's just always been his consistent storyline, right? And unfortunately, even though he's IGL'd some really impressive teams, it just always keeps on circling back to that same conversation, I feel. And even though they have done really well, like as I mentioned, they came third at the Fergie Rush LAN, which was one of 2 open lands before the major started in South America. And to be honest, when you look at their results from both of those events they went to, only time they lost was against MIBR. And it's the same with that Nuke, right? You look at their Nuke, they've lost 8 in a row. Look how close all those games are. All of them, double digits overtimes. And look at who it's against. MIBR a lot of the times. So this ODDIK roster, it's actually a really weird kind of run of form of they've been playing really good Counter-Strike, and they're exclusively losing to the best in the region.
I'm actually glad that you bring up the AWPing IGL thing, because that's always been such a weird concept in my eyes. When you're playing the AWP, you have such a... you've got a fairly stagnated view of things. And I don't mean that, the best AWPers are obviously playing dynamic round to round. They're kind of moving and shifting and, if you get a shot here, you kind of want to reposition a little bit. So you are kind of moving, but you're also, you're when you're aimed down sights, it is the definition of tunnel vision. That scope is a bit of a tunnel. That's where you're looking. So, and then you've got to hold this angle. And if you're caught sleeping at the wheel, you're going to end up getting shot. Because your reaction times just have to be that phenomenal. So to have that kind of hyper laser focus on what it is you're looking at, and then still need to be directing the team and telling them where to go, where to be, what they need to be looking out for, etc., etc. It's a massive amount of strain, or it can be, on a player. So when players are succeeding in the AWP IGL, then that's really awesome, and I'll give them their flowers for that. But I think you're almost playing hard mode unnecessarily. And I think that, look, IGLs have always been one of the more difficult roles to come by. It's one thing to be able to click heads, but it's something else entirely to be able to read the flow of a game and to make snap decisions on the fly about what you need to do and where you need to go and so on. And IGLs tend to be a lot more difficult to find the really good ones. So if you find one and he happens to be an AWPer, well, fair enough. But I think that it does just add an extra layer of difficulty on top, where that could be somebody maybe with a little bit of a more bird's eye view that you could have in that role. But it looks like we're getting ready to finally dive into this match, folks. Challenger League Season 50, South America. Remember, it's Cup number 3. We have 2 teams that have already qualified to the regional final. The Red Canids have been so close to tasting victory in the last 2 cups. Perhaps this will be the one where they finally do get that. Nuke now, map number 1, and who's going to walk away with this one?
Theoretically, Red Canids should win this whole event because they're one of the teams that just qualified to the majors, right? They're the top 10 team in the Americas. And Che Jesus, their newest addition, unfortunately can't show why. He runs out on A, he instantly falls, but he gets so much space for his teammates. It's a 3 versus 3, and this bomb, it ain't going down, I can tell you that for free, because all CTs are in heaven and they explode on the tab. Cowers, sure he hits 1, but Colsero and Woody, 2 apiece for ODDIK, first on the board.
Decisive little shutdown there to make sure that bomb can't get planted, and that's going to leave the Red Canids in a little bit of a tight scenario here. You want to try and get that first round if you can on the T side. Really does set you up for a couple more, and you know, as we always say, if you can just get 4 on the T side, then you're looking really good into that CT. And if the 4 that you get are literally the first 4 right out the gate, well, then obviously you're going to be feeling a lot more comfortable about the rest of the map. But that does get snatched away, so of course it's going to be a force buy here from ODDIK. They're going to actually buying into 2 M4s as well. They've really gone hard on the gun buys here. Little smattering of utility here and there, but I think that this is a feeling of confidence. You know, you're coming up against pistols. You're not necessarily going to need quite as much utility, so bolster that weaponry as far as possible. And even if you do lose a player or 2, if you can hold on to those rifles, then into that next round, that reinvest doesn't become as much of a cripple.
No bomb down, so it's a pretty good indication there should be no purchase. Obviously not a given. It's Counter-Strike in 2025. You never really know. But no, I'm really excited for this game because it's been such an even matchup. These 2 teams have been really neck and neck. And I think that was very much exhibited by the fact that the major was decided by less than 20 points in the VRS Americas. You know, it was really up for grabs. And that also creates a storyline of, okay, ODDIK, they've pushed super, super hard for this major, didn't get it. Do they have the energy and the drive to keep on going for the rest of the year? And for Red Canids, it's all about keeping up that drive because their journey's almost only just started now with that major qualification. So actually getting online results right now for Red Canids is a really important factor to aid them in the lead up to Budapest. And for ODDIK, it's just more, do they still have that drive? And I guess for both teams, it's still just, they've been playing so much, traveling so much. Who currently is still able to keep up the pace?
Yeah, it can be exhausting when you're just constantly hitting the accelerator, never really finding those moments to have breaks. But if you can find that balance, then the net gain is absolutely monumental. So now we'll have our first rifle round, and already Che losing a lot of damage before the cross, but he has actually made that cross. Smoke to come down to block him off a little bit. This is a good reactionary smoke, and it's potentially going to slow things down a little bit. But Woody's going to lose his life in towards outside. That's kind of insane. Cowers gets dropped in vent. That's going to make it a little bit more of an even footing now. The CT smoke has turned into a bit of a walk-up smoke, however, and it's given a lot of free space over for ODDIK to make their way down towards that B site. But Naty waiting to spot out ahead. Spots the first information given over the Molotov. Just to split things up a little bit, that's the bomb stuck behind the Molotov. That could actually give him an opportunity here to get a nice little frag off. Ooh, not expecting the second swing. A third pops out as well. It's Che, of course, to shut him down. The B site should be relatively free for the taking, but Pank has already arrived down below. I do like that ODDIK are playing this very, oh, sorry, not ODDIK. Red Can is playing this very slowly, waiting to make sure that they have a strong opening and looking like they might want to go up the vent here. There's still 2 players on this A site, however, and again, so much of this utility to slow things down with sub 30 seconds remaining, and somehow ODDIK have bought themselves enough time to reposition, get back over towards the A site. And the bomb's all alone. Che's on like a sliver of HP. Nothing really to play off of. Both of these players, or at least one is here, but it's coldzera to get that final one. Bomb had been planted, but that's going to be an easy defuse. The CT side utility was fantastic in this round.
I mean, util might be great, but that was just a massive overcook from the T side. They get an opening kill down towards B. Little do they know, ODDIK hadn't really rotated whatsoever. It was actually going to be my main critique for ODDIK coming out of this, that, wow, they just never really thought too much about the B bomb site. Only Nate really rotated down. And Red Canids, they overcook it by trying to go up the vent. coldzera was ready and waiting for them. ODDIK reacted accordingly, really successfully, but for Red Canids, it's just slowing down the pace too much and reacting with the map control that you don't actually really ascertain. So it's a pretty clean 3-0 start for the CT side, but a bomb down will mean another purchase, and it's outside smokes into a fake pop A. That's been heard, by the way. Venom's there has been heard.
Ooh. Baited out into the waiting arms. That's an unfortunate one, but that's okay because the rest of the team is just going to maintain survival here. And we've got 2 Tech 9s left to, I don't know, mount some sort of a miracle. Drop's gone all the way down towards the B side. So they should actually get a bomb plant. So they got that going for them. That extra little bit of cash in all of the chaos that ensued in that round. And maybe a little bit of damage would be nice, just to try and make things a little bit more expensive, but seemingly unlikely. ODDIK now going to go up to 4 rounds. I assume, yeah, they're already on the bomb. History's on the other side of the world. That's not happening. Yeah, 4 rounds here for ODDIK, and the Red Canids struggling to find a foot in so far. Ooh, is that after time? That's rough.
Well, the bomb got defused, so it doesn't matter. It's a, they're still gonna, yeah. I mean, great round from Red Canids, and it's just great reaction to the information they get delivered last second. Case locks, that Molo was not going to go down if the nade he hadn't thrown had landed directly on Venom Zero. He gets the sound cues, instantly drops the counter rush utility, and Red Canids, they just get like a second warning, and that head start is the reason why that round's so clean. Bomb going down's good for Red Canids, but it's just back to losing ways as Case Lock just delivers a brutal opening kill.
Gets so up close and personal as well. 0 punishment whatsoever. Panks followed up as well. And the last 3 players now still kind of stuck out in towards lobby. There we go. Che stepping up, winning out that duel against coldzera, brings it to a more even footing. But they still haven't actually made any moves. And we've still got Pank down towards the vent drop there. And speaking of drop's going to get dropped. History's going to follow. Natesy just kind of, I don't know, solo swinging them one by one, gets those kills. 1 player left, bomb's being dropped. Che's all alone. Che's going to get yet one more. I'm starting to see now why you were singing his praises. I don't know if it's going to be enough to clutch out this round, but doing his absolute damnedest to at least get the bomb plant, at least get that extra little bit of money. The first player spotted. He's gotten 1 more. It's down to a 1v1. He has no health remaining, but he knows where that last player is. Traces firing in through the smoke. He has an inkling, dodges out the Molotov, and clears Pank's head as he swings through the smoke. Che, you monster.
The AWP was kind of hanging on the edge there in heaven. That would have been the real icing on top if he was able to pick up the AWP as well after winning out that round. But that goes... This is literally the first success for Red Canids in the whole of Nuke, and it comes from the new boy on the scene, coming down from Imperial, benched from one of the better teams in this region, benched from what is tier 1 Counter-Strike, has to make a new name for himself, well, qualifies for the major, and then comes back online, 1v3, it ain't no matter, it ain't no problem. It's easy peasy, lemon squeezy, and over-aggression for ODDIK. The over-aggression from Nate rather, got them into that 3v1, but then it felt like there was no stop button. It was like, okay, you know, you got 2 really nice kills. Can I like pull the trigger now? And it's like, no, I'm going to continue going. Oh, we've lost a 3v1 because of it.
Insane little 1v3 there. Isolating those duels so perfectly. But now ODDIK not willing to go quietly into that good night. Some aggression out in towards outside. A 3-person stack, in fact. Expecting maybe a little bit more presence there. But that's okay. They get that first kill. They reposition over towards A. Pank. Brave gets one before he's traded. And honestly, that's all he really needed. Being able to survive obviously would have been that little bit better. But he secured them a very strong advantage in the round. Only one player down towards B. It's Caselux. Has had a little bit of success leading up to this. I say a little bit. He's currently top fragging for the roster. So the anchor now waiting for the opportunity to activate once more. Reinforcements haven't moved in just yet, but you can see they're kind of angling. The rotation should be fairly quick once they realize that it is down towards the B side. And of course, Red Canids playing this very slowly, not wanting to give away the game too quickly. Waiting for the sound of the tap. Hasn't come through just yet. We're still trying to clear out as many angles as possible. Maybe taking a little bit too long, but finally those numbers will get punched in. And yes, the rotation already down the vent, so we can reinforce that a little bit further. And again, I love that ODDIK are playing this patiently as well. We're not overly peeking out unnecessarily. Wait for those reinforcements. They know that they do have a kit available to them, so they just need to buy a little bit of time. Oh, Nate caught.
What?
Swinging out all on his own. I don't know how Venom Zero died to their own Molotov there, but history doubles down. Gonna get traded out by Woody, and it's brought back to a 1 versus 1. An AWP in a retake is a difficult decision. The kit's been lost. Time is ticking away, and they have to retreat. Okay, I was happy that they were playing slow, but maybe a little bit too slow.
Way too slow. Way too slow. In Caselux, like, you know, he loses his moment of surprise. He never takes the timing that he certainly did have, and then tries to then overplay his hand after he's lost the timing while he's waiting for his teammates. A really just kind of like head scratcher for ODDIK, I'm not gonna lie. They saved the AWP. But yeah, that's a really disappointing back-to-back rounds for them where they have the advantage. They have a man advantage, maybe even 2-man advantage, and yet they throw it all away. Red Canids, they've got onto 2 rounds on this T side, and they might actually start making a bit of momentum for themselves completely off the back of the ODDIK, I don't know, like mistakes.
If you're given that little bit of an opportunity, it's the mark of a phenomenal team that can press that advantage and really punish those openings. Now Woody looking to make an opening. First one garnered, backs away, has to move off of the angle. That's a beautiful opener. They managed to hold on to that AWP at the end of the previous round. And you can see this is a rough one for them. The force up into all of the MP9s, looking to try and farm up a little bit of extra cash if they can. Obviously, there's a bit more firepower in the MP9 than in, like, you know,
This
an upgraded
is
pistol per se.
They've
He's
heard
getting
that
so up
scope.
close. Yeah, and he's so up close now. Even if he gets one, he should get traded out really easily. He's not going to get his. Now, if they didn't know before, by some miracle, they absolutely know now. Drop's gotten in on above him. Woody's going to get taken out. The beautiful wrap around and all the way from up. I don't know. The T's have become the CTs somehow. The bomb still has to make its way into sight. It's still hanging out in garage. And 2 players remain on the side to try and hold down the fort as the bomb starts to make its way in. But Cold Zero turns, looks the wrong direction, doesn't matter. Drop from on high. He's going to be the one to get the kill. Pank now with the world on his shoulders and cannot make it happen. 4 players left alive at the end of the round for Red Canids. Another dominant display.
That's 3 rounds in a row where ODDIK not only have the man advantage, but just have an overall advantage in the round from an opening kill or whatnot, and it's complacency once more thwarting them. I don't know what's happening. Red Canids are getting away with murder, and like, okay, they're playing good CS, and this is all off the back of a very individually clean 1v3 from Che. But outside of that, I'm looking at ODDIK, and this is just such a head scratcher. This is all due to their wrongdoing. It's about to be a 4-4 state of affairs, and Red Canids, I was actually super worried that their map pick was going to run away from right underneath their nose, but I'm starting to understand why ODDIK have lost this map 8 times in a row.
Yeah, Bit of an unfortunate one. They had such a strong start to the map as well. But
They've had a strong start to these rounds. They're getting every opening kill and just that's it.
It's a bit weird when you get that opener and you just can't hold on to it. You can't press that further, but it feels like those slight missteps, not really realizing where to kind of reinforce. They're not really reading into the momentum. That's a sick shot. My God. We're playing Jack in the box here. Pops up over the top, gets that first. Can he follow it up? He's just lost his teammate, so he knows that Cowers is there. All right, not going to press that. Not going to get too cheeky with it. It's another round where they get an opening kill, man. But unfortunately, I think it's going to be another one where that slight advantage is not really going to get them too much of anything. Because, of course, it does get traded back fairly quickly. An advantage very much still in favor of the Red Canids. They're going to make their way down sequence for free and for gratis. Being spotted out here. It should potentially give away the game, but it's still only one player spotted. So ODDIK have to spread themselves really thin across the map to try and garner any sort of information. Now, they know that there's not much happening towards outside. They know there's nothing happening towards ramp. They did spot the one player heading down secret. So it should be fairly telegraphed that it's going to be a move down towards that B site. I'm waiting to see when they make the move to rotate back in. I think they're going to go more for a retake scenario. That was looking a little bit stressful, but it was the bomb, and it's going to get dropped. Woody now gets a second, drops the bomb again. Somehow, he's making this more contested. There's no freaking way that he gets yet one more kill. Now Cowers, bomb on his back, made his way into the side case. Locks is here. The shots connect. That's outrageous. How have they gone and done that?
Okay, so that's mental. I was about to hit you with some very funny stats if ODDIK had lost that round. Because that would have been Red Canids winning 4 in a row with none of their rounds won, getting an opening kill. K-Slogs, he gets his 6th opening kill of the map in that round. There's only been 8 rounds. He's got 6 opening kills. ODDIK have 7 in total. Drop got an opening kill in the first gun round, and that was it. So this time, finally, K-Slogs is able to actually work with the opening kill. 6 opening kills, 8 rounds. That's actually kind of ridiculous, 80%. And it's just the pistols run down the clock massively. ODDIK were certainly pressed for time. ODDIK, wait.
No, Red Canids, presumably?
Yeah, Red Canids were pressing ODDIK for time.
I don't know, the 3 kills from Woody is probably what sent me into the freaking Shadow Realm. And then obviously K-Slogs getting that final kill as well. And Woody does so well to keep whittling away that time and just keeping that pressure up. And now, well, I was about to say maybe they're feeling a little bit more confident off the back of those wins, but instantly the openers get traded back. They're down to only 1 player left. It's Woody. He's all alone in the outside with an AWP. And that's probably round. That's rough, because I'm pretty sure they got the first kill in this one as well. And it just falls by the wayside once again. Oh, a little extra one for Woody there. Very nice. But now his position's known, and he could find himself in a little bit of danger. If he can hold on to the AWP, that would be great, because I don't see them being able to buy one in the next round. So we're going to have to play this a little bit more carefully. But there you go. ODDIK back in winning... No, not ODDIK. Red Canids back in winning ways.
Back-to-back rounds in the last 2 with Red Canids maybe ran down the clock a little bit too much. They got away with it in one occasion. They didn't in another. And right here, right now, they just go, hey, let's just run. Let's just hit the A bomb site super fast. And ODDIK, after a pretty dominant opener, and what I thought when I saw that 5-7 round, when I saw the pistol round over down towards B, I was thinking, okay, this is the start of something more. Red Canids, they had their fun. They have been able to be put in this position because of Che Jesus. But hey, we go back to city side dominance, and Red Canids still under the microscope, as it's a little bit scary for them on their map pick. Nope, it doesn't matter. They ruined their chance. And his Red Canids back in the driver's seat as they get aggressive outside, but so does Nate. Issue is, he wasn't looking really the right way. Nonetheless, though, it's still an opening kill technically for ODDIK from Woody.
Round and around we go. Okay, now we have numbers advantage for the Red Canids. I was going to start talking about how, they've got 4 rounds. I mean, even if they don't win another round in this half, they're actually fine with that. But looks like they're not fine with that. They want to make this as dominant an affair as they possibly can.
I don't think they're going to stop at 5 either.
Nah, seems unlikely. ODDIK with a serious uphill battle ahead of them. And you can actually see that the amount of hesitation they're showing right now, because they're not spread terribly thin. They're not fanning out, trying to find that information. They're just kind of hunkering down a little bit and then waiting to potentially, go for a retake scenario, because trying to fight back now will make it damn near impossible for them. Pank staring down. Okay, he's moving out. He's getting up close and personal. He's got an inkling. They clear him.
Shot. Okay.
That's unfortunate. And that's the site more or less opened up, as there's one player left alive, but he's all alone and he's not much longer for this world. Coldzera will at least find one before everything falls apart. But how much more? Flashed out, has to back away. They'll get it. The smoke's down. They've got some space. If there was a bit of spray there, that would have been hilarious. But no, that's going to get planted. And Coldzera, not too much more to do in this round. And it's yet another save.
That's 4 rounds in a row where Red Canids have played just like insanely slow T-sides, and they didn't get away with it one time, and that was when the Force by War came, the Force by 1 came out for ODDIK. But the other times, it's just been me kind of clenching a little bit, just like, ooh, there's only 20 seconds left on the time. I don't think Red Canids can lose this round, but because of how late it is, that's the only reason why I think this round is losable. So maybe they need to slightly adjust just a tiny bit to make sure they're not running the clock down so low that then becomes the only reason why they might be losing these rounds. But it is an even Stevens game, 5-5, and ODDIK, they shouldn't be investing really at all into this round, apart from some 5-7s. Coldzera, interestingly, actually buys and drops another A1S. So there's a lot more substance in this round, and I would go on the vein of saying overcommitment for ODDIK in this round.
All right, 2 rounds remaining. I don't see a world in which ODDIK can snag this one. Oh, it's a good opener. Case locks again. Does get instantly traded out, however.
Always getting the opening kills. Red Canids have won 6 rounds potentially now. They have not won a single round where they've got an opening kill. We are going into round 12 after this. Red Canids have got 1 opening kill this map, technically.
It's all about that stabilizing, that mid to late round. It's such an important factor. But it also does show some chinks in the armor a little bit here from ODDIK, because how you can find that that advantage and not actually press it is a little bit stressful. I think it also comes down to the difference between like true first bloods and traded first bloods. Like a true first blood, get the kill, back away, happy days. But a traded first blood, at that point, it didn't really matter who got the first kill, because you brought it back to even numbers. And I think that's part of the problem, is that Case Locks, he gets quite a few openers, but they're not always true first bloods, And a lot of the time, it's him getting really aggressive and then getting caught out. And so where they could have had a player advantage, he ends up invariably giving that back over to the T's. It's not every round. There have been a few rounds where he's been able to slip away, and that's been pretty exciting to see. But
he has got 7 opening kill rounds, so I assume one of them he did well in.
Yeah, must have done, right? And sitting at 12 and 10 as well, the only one on double digits. No, that's a lie. Woody's also on double digits, but he was the only one for a hot minute, and they're still losing. That's the craziest part of all of this. And again, it comes down to that just not able to press those advantages.
Oh my god, another opening kill. That's the 3rd for Woody in this half. Okay, so Red Canids have yet to win a round. They have officially won 6 T rounds on Nuke, and none of them with the opening kill.
Oh my god.
But in the same vein as every single one of those 6 rounds, they are going to go to a 7th automatically from the 4 versus 5, and yet they make it look flawless when they get put in that backseat. Sure, Pank does pick up 1 kill towards ramp, and Red Canids, what's the idea here? I'm sensing maybe a little bit of overcooking if they actually go up that vent, because the B bomb site is completely empty right now.
Would be the first time that they did in fact overcook. Also, I'm realizing another trend here. There have been so many moments of just like dry swinging or being in really weird positions that you just get caught out on. It's more the dry swinging than anything else, and that has been quite a detrimental factor as well. That bomb is now going to get planted. No overcooking here. We're going to cook it just right. It's going to be al dente, the perfect way to make this pasta. And the last couple of players now for ODDIK, hand in hand, trying to find openers here. A nice opener onto Venom. 0 brings it down to an even kilter. They're no longer holding hands. They figured out where drop is, so they're going to reconvene with one another, try and find a spot to play, but they can't set up a crossfire. They can't play off of one another, and Red Canids will go up to 7 at the half.
No opening kills, no problem, says Red Canids, as they win 7 rounds on the T side of their map pick of Nuke, none of which they had the opening kill in.
Do we change that now? I mean, now they're on the
So
side.
bizarre. It's just so bizarre.
I see a world. I see a world. I'm sure they can turn it around now. You know, you're gonna have a bunch of guys running into you constantly. Surely at some point you're gonna be able to find a few more of those opening kills. ODDIK's going on a round the world mission here. That's interesting. There you go. Opening kill for Red Canids. Can history follow it up? They know where he is, waiting for reinforcements to come through. He's just gonna get run over. This has been more weirdness, I feel like, because now they're just kind of chilling in towards the outside. They can move their way in on towards the A site, but the Red Canids not 100% sure of where this movement is yet to go. Spotted out, but Drop himself spotted as well. And we're going to head on straight down the ramp, and that's going to be a free plant. And ODDIK, in a surprising turn of events, looking to take the second pistol round of the map.
Second pistol around the map, and they're still only going to sit on 6 rounds. I think it's also really good to mention that Red Canids, like, they did lose 4 rounds in a row after the pistol. Lost the first gun round, and yet they still were able to come out on top. And in this second pistol, they get the opening kill. They're second of the map. And they don't convert it either. They have yet to win a round where they've got the opening killer. It's just... yeah.
To be fair, if you're the IGL of Red Canids, are you calling that round from the T's?
Yeah, I mean, fair. That was a pretty mental strat from the T side, but a second pistol round for ODDIK, like you actually sit here for ODDIK and you're looking at K-Slox, who's having a kind of overly impressive performance. He's actually having maybe one of the best events of his like tenure in the recent times. Almost a 1.40 rating in the games they've played so far. Like Woody's also doing really well with the AWP on the C side and getting opening kills. Colzera is performing. Like you look at these pieces, you won both pistol rounds, you got 11 out of 12 opening kills in the first half, and you're still sitting 6-7 down. The questions have to be asked.
Oh, there's another little opener here. Getting some mad value off of the scout. We follow that up. Ugh, MP9 gets dropped. I hate that his name is Drop. I keep making inadvertent puns, bro. It's not intentional, I swear. A bit of a slowdown now. Nice smoke there. That'll cover them a little bit if they choose to push this. It certainly denies some sightlines from history, and that's going to hobble that scout a little bit more, force him to actually go for a reposition. And this might be a good time to actually hit ramp now that they've done that. But of course, they don't know. They don't know for sure. There's an inkling, a suspicion, but nothing confirmed. Oh no, are you just gonna die to the scout? Nope, gonna miss the shot instead. Oh, the follow-up does actually connect. Oh my god, why are you just standing there, brother? You're just standing there eating bullets, trying to set up some sort of a flank. All right, meanwhile, the rest of ODDIK have made their way down the veins, and it looks like they are gonna be planting it on towards the A side. How the hell, Venom Zera? Ferrari swing connects onto Cold Zera. Zera v Zera here. Woody will trade back, try to keep it contestable. With the bomb planted now, they just have to hold a little bit longer. Remember, there are no kits available here for the Red Canids, so it's all about buying time, running down that clock. As K-Slox himself gets run over, the final kill connects onto Woody, and while it looked like they may be able to hold the line, the Red Canids resurge.
They did it. Ladies and gentlemen, the first time in this map, 8-6. Red Canids win their first round that they got an opening kill in. 14 rounds it took. They finally do it. And it's history, 2 on the scout. First one was like a really nice headshot. You know, can't take anything away from that. That second, I definitely have some kind of question marks about what the hell Nate was doing outside. He seemed to just be so tunnel visioned on helping his teammates going towards A, and history also gets a third tag on Woody before he dies. Like, that's just so much value coming out from him. A true AWPer, as I might say. But Red Canids, a instant rebuttal, puts them on the front foot and maintains their lead here on their map pick. They'll be careful because it's not for granted as ODDIK, they just burst onto the A-bomb site, and oh my god, Pank, a very rough first half, but a double that opens up the A-bomb site.
That was also a fiercely labored spray that just could not connect, man. Trying to trace what's it, track even, but your cursor is constantly behind the person you're trying to shoot at. Unfortunately, he does get caught out. That being said, the bomb's been lost. All of that space that was gained in towards the A side, and the bomb has been lost, and Che is sitting on top of it. All right, ODDIK now have to try and recover. I do like the potential here from coldzera going on this kind of flanky mission. Oh, are the stairs being watched adequately? It doesn't look like Che's actually watching the stairs themselves. So there was potential there for coldzera. Oh, he's made the wrong choice. Che's watching the outside. If he'd gone up ladder, he could have gotten that kill, but he's gone outside instead. He's just gonna die. I can't believe it, Freddy. They got so much space. They did so much and they lost the bomb. It's been recovered. The numbers are going to be tapped, but Che is still there. Che doesn't swing, doesn't take the chance. The HE does a little bit of damage, and he should have called for reinforcements now. And yes, his teammate is there with him. Why are they swinging 1 for 1? Dear God, this is K-Slox. He had like 7 opening kills. You can't just leave him alone in a moment like this. 1v1, ducking and diving, trying to buy that little bit of extra time. The clay pigeon shooting doesn't quite land, and it's Drop to get the last kill. Holy cow. And yes, red cannons go up to 9.
Okie dokie. That round would have never even been contestable if it wasn't for Pank getting that double opener with the tech down on the A-bomb site. And that should have been shut down in itself. It feels like Red Canid were caught completely sleeping at the wheel, but also ODDIK were also sleeping at the wheel and not expecting the execute to come in necessarily when it did. Absolute pandemonium towards the end. 4 players die, a bomb plant, and because of that, ODDIK, they're going to commit back into this purchase. Red Canid, they've won 2 in a row, ordinarily would have broken their opposition's economy, but in this scenario, they're straight from the frying pan into the fryer.
Red Cannon's now 1 away from double digits. And considering what the buy looks like for ODDIK here, I think it wouldn't be too much of a stretch of the imagination to believe that it should be a fairly easy pull over the finish line. I say the finish line, not the finish line, but the double-digit line. Lay down the util here, expecting maybe a little bit of that rush to come through. But low and slow here, ODDIK whittling away their last little bits of utility. Flash does absolutely nothing to deter history, and Drop gets a solid 3k spray down, leaving Nate all alone. Bomb has been lost once more, recovery impossible, and the final shot to connect from Che. A clean round for the Canids.
Actually, super clean round from Canids, and that's exactly what they needed, right? Because of that, ODDIK, this high risk, high reward play is kind of coming back to bite them. They've won both pistol rounds, and you wouldn't really guess it, would you? They even won the first gun round on their CT side, and yet they still sit with a measly 6 rounds. They lost the anti-force buy here on their T side. They force up. It gets expensive, so they figure, hey, why not? Let's double dip. Why not, right? What's the worst could happen? Well, this is the worst. 10-6 for Red Canids, and ODDIK having to, actually buy quite a lot into a round where they're putting a lot in, but they're not exactly getting much out when it comes to weaponry and utility. This is a sure foot in for 11 for Red Canids, and if the bomb doesn't go down, it's going to be a round 18 with just really bad weaponry for ODDIK as well.
The Tech 9 round, man. This is the kind of round where you need to be... Oh my god. Devastation. Nicely placed HE. Manages to get the shot onto Nate on the cross there. Pank very quick to follow. Pank has not been having a good day, guys. It's been really rough. Che with a nice little multi-frag in towards the outside makes things a bit more difficult. coldzera all alone, but will be dealt with. A little bit of damage done, but we're at that point in the series where it really does not matter. Red Canids 2 rounds away from closing out their map pick, and ODDIK, well, you said it a little bit earlier on, starting to see why they have not been able to win a nuke in the last 8 games that they've played.
It's about to be 9.
Oof.
And yeah, the kind of weird economical decision that previous round is coming to bite them here with 3 Galils, 2 AKs, and even then not great utility, and they've sacrificed weaponry. Red Canids, it was a great opening kill for history. He's been prolific on the sniper rifles since we've come onto the defense. And I don't imagine he's going to want to slow down just yet, as he's chilling outside with the AWP, and Nate needs to be very careful because History's holding that angle. Nate's just going to walk into his crosshair, but before History can even pull the trigger, Che decapitates him. This is going to force the acceleration from ODDIK over towards ramp, but they just run straight into Drop's crosshair. Case Logs, however, finally answers some of those questions, and all of the information from the 3 CT players tumbling down towards the vent is gained by Woody. He shouts over to his teammates, mouths a motor, rotate towards A. They've all gone down B, and that's exactly what Cold Zero and Case Locks are going to do.
Case Locks may have saved this round for ODDIK, but we'll see now if they can stabilize. Stability has been the massive issue that this ODDIK team have, had to try and deal with over the course of this map. And on the CT side, they weren't able to do it. Maybe now on their T side with a bomb planted, with even numbers, with just needing to hold the line, maybe they can make that happen. They have realized where at least one player is, with a couple of shots being heard there and potentially a few footsteps as well. Case Locks looking towards the outside, gets caught off guard by Venom Zero. Venom Zero position now known, so they've got to keep eyes up towards heaven. Woody hasn't been checked, doesn't know that the second player is there. Hears the footsteps, holds the line, and between the two of them, 1 for 1, they each get theirs, and ODDIK finally find a round.
Ooh, that felt like it was Red Canids all day of the year, but then it's unnecessary peek from History in towards ramp to give Case Logs the second and give them all of that space. It's an unnecessary over rotation from Red Canids when there's 3 players on that A bomb site. Why do all 3 of them just storm down the vent and make all the noise? Case Logs, as you said, yes, he gives them ODDIK an opening, but it's Woody who ultimately is the one to win out that round. He gets all of that vital information and also provides a defying double at the end, also just taking all the attention away, sets up his teammates perfectly. Red Canids not out of it just yet. They still got to be careful because I don't think that is the final word ODDIK are going to be having on Nuke.
I must admit, I don't know what Case Locks was shooting at when he got killed, because he was shooting towards outside. I don't know if he was maybe flashed out. I didn't see a flash come through, but it was a little bit of a weird one there. Caught looking in the wrong direction. Oh, Pank, finally some signs of life here through the fire and the flames. Gets that kill onto Cowers. An opener garnered for ODDIK. They've been really good with these openers, but have struggled to find value on the other side. Perhaps now with an opening here. They do hit the brakes, though. And I don't hate this. Get that opening kill and then just kind of chill a little bit. Wait to see if the Red Canids get overly eager, if they get overly aggressive. Try and follow up on that kill, maybe get a trade off themselves. You want to try and spare some of this utility where you can as well, because they've already used quite a bit of it and they didn't come in with a massive belt either. So now as the clock hits 1 minute, a couple of smokes out towards outside to cover a potential cross through. Trying to draw out a couple of these rotations, try to pull some of that attention away. Beautiful flash drop. Not going to be able to activate off of it. Spams down, gets a little bit of damage onto Nat, but with that, it gives the information. It's likely going to still be the A hit, just a bit of a pincer. Venom Zero holding onto the site, hand in hand with Che from up on high. But Woody battles it back. 2v2 now. Bomb still chilling on the site. Will commit now. Should be able to get planted as the last 2 players from Red Canids back away. Bit of an incorrect read onto this one. They thought it might have slipped down towards the B site. Went to check it out. And oh, damn, wouldn't you know it. Bomb got planted up on A. And they struggled to do the hand-holding retake a little bit earlier on, just a few rounds back. Can they do it differently this time? That was on the B side. This is a whole different side. It's a whole different round, and the stakes are that much different. They're being held for. coldzera to get the first, and the second is stunning. And ODDIK continue with winning ways.
coldzera showing that you can teach an old dog new tricks. And Red Canids is another kind of massive fumble where they had the advantage. Venom Zero just rocketing his way up vent. Feels a little bit overcooked when that sight hold, they had it locked and loaded. Pank sure does get a really important double for ODDIK. It's actually the second time he's got a double kill on the T side to warrant a round victory, or give a round some legs to it after he's only had 4 kills coming into the second half. He's only had 2 rounds on the T side. He's got kills, and they've both been very important rounds. But Red Canids, honestly, really dropped the ball in back-to-back rounds now, and this has just opened a massive gateway for ODDIK as they're up against the eco. This should be a sure foot into 9, and then also it just means it's 1 gun round away from evening up this scoreline. Red Canids have maybe thrown away their chances to end off Nuke and regulation, as especially that next gun round is going to come at a cost of pretty bad loss bonus. Then AWP's not going to be out for history, and utility is going to be a little bit low across the board. So ODDIK, I think they're back.
Yeah, anti-eco now as well, so this should be a fairly easy one for them to run away with. I say that Cowers is still very quick to trade it back. It's K-Stock with another opener. What the hell? He's on 20 and 18 at the moment.
Has he done some sort of like ritual to come into this game?
Black magic voodoo ritual. I feel like if you were doing a black magic voodoo ritual, surely you do it to win rounds, not to get opening kills. But hey, I'm just a girl. What do I know?
Maybe he tried to like outbrain the system. And it's like, oh, I want to be able to get the opening kills because therefore we should win the round. So he's trying, like, maybe if it's like, oh, you can't just wish to win the round. So he's like trying to get around it, circumnavigate, be a smarty pants.
You can't wish for more wishes, so you just wish for more genies.
Yeah. So the issue is that like he actually outbrains himself because his teammates aren't getting those opening kills.
They didn't do the black voodoo magic ritual, unfortunately. And here we are. All right.
Okay.
Okay, Che, calm down.
Pause.
There's no way, right? There's no way,
the bomb's
right?
only just been planted. There's actually quite a lot of time to work with. Drops picked up an AK of himself. It's a 2 versus 2, but neither CT player has armor and they don't have a kit. So they are just going to go and save. Pank, though, I really despise that he's done that. I fundamentally, to my core, hate that he's done that. Because imagine if Che had just one-tapped him. Imagine if Che just hit the headshot, boom, it's a 2v1. I hate the fact that Pank has done that.
Well, to be fair, I'm quite happy for Pank because I think he went into the half with like 2 kills.
He had 4 and he's only had 2Ks. He's had 3 rounds where he's had 3 2Ks.
This is one of them, I guess. Just keeping himself a little bit more in contention. Yeah, it's actually Nate who's starting to struggle a little bit more here on that T side. But you know what? Good for you, Pank. Forget what Freddy says. Freddy's biased caster, shun him. The rest of us are biased Che. All right then. Smoke spray down, gets them the opening kill. As you were. Pank, I was just singing his praises and 2 seconds later, unfortunately put back down into the grave. Che's position here somewhat predicted. Trying to spam him out a bit. They've done a little bit of damage as well, so that could put him... Oh my god, the timing on that flash. I think it actually saved his life. I don't think they even saw him. So he's going to be able to live just a little bit longer, but they are aware that there's likely a person there. So they're just holding that. And just the sheer presence of Che is doing enough to stop them from pressing forward. The HE opens up so much of that space, which allows them to get yet another kill. But already, I love that Che's able to dip down secret as well. All of the chaos created by the smoke being cleared by the HE allows him to slip away and survive with his life, and now they have a numbers advantage. That was a solid little bit of coordination amongst the red Canid players, and the bomb is still chilling outside A. So as much as they've garnered a whole ton of space out towards garage, they haven't really done much of anything else, and red Canids have still heavily bolstered this A site. Now coldzera on a little bit of an exploratory mission, look to see if he can spot anyone out. Woody's been taken down. He was that lurk out towards garage, and he's not going to be allowed to participate in the rest of this round. The bomb's now backing away, but there's there's no time. There's no time. The round is over. Wait, hello?
Counter-terrorists win.
Freddy? Help me?
They just don't even try. They just.
And it took me so long to notice the time, because I'm like, somebody's going to do something at some point, right?
I thought like 20 seconds ago, this round's been going on for quite a while. And I was like, oh yeah, it's because they haven't done anything. Oh my God, we're trolling ourselves. What is going on? This game makes no sense. Red Canids are going to play the major, by the way. But I guess that was a good round from them, not allowing ODDIK to, like, it was just plan A got thwarted, plan B as well. And then we go to plan C, D, and there was no plan C, D. ODDIK just think, hey, we may as well save in this 2 versus 4 and try at least bring these rifles into the next round. But they've lost the opening kill. History strikes once more. He's been so vigilant on the city side with the AWP, and he's already rotated to try and support drop preemptively. Drop swings, and he sees a lot of players there. This is just easy pickings for History. What a HE. Shrapnel throwing everywhere. A smoke as well, just to impede their advance if it wasn't already impeded. And guess what? Now there's 4 players on the A-bomb site to greet ODDIK, who are just sitting here thinking, what do we do?
Really funny if this is another round they just lose to time, and it is the map point as well. And honestly, there's a part of me that's going,
option, yeah.
And part of me is wondering, like, how have they gotten to 9 rounds? When you've just come off the back of a round like that, you've got to start asking some serious questions now. The door gets open, Cowers sprays down, Che to get the last, and that will be GG indeed. 13-9 in favor of Red Canids. Maybe not the way we expected the map to go in terms of the nitty-gritty, the finer details, the very interesting situations that we had as the map went on. But ultimately, it's Red Canids taking their map pick, and I think that we did somewhat predict that to happen at the very least.
That's just such a crazy map where Red Canids and ODDIK, they've played each other quite a lot in recent history. It's a pretty turbulent head-to-head, which is actually, you know, it makes for a really exciting matchup, right? Last time they played was on LAN. ODDIK, they were the victors in that occasion. It was the Fergie LAN, if I'm not mistaken, and similar Veto with Overpass being picked by ODDIK. Red Canids, they picked Nuke and they won. It's a lot cleaner this time. Maybe not on the server, but scoreline wise, they were able to win it out before it gets to overtime. But the question is, Sam, the whole question is, what are they going to be like on Overpass? ODDIK, they won it, as mentioned on LAN. They'll be looking to force it to a decider once more in this series to try and challenge once more in this upper bracket. Or can Red Canids defeat their demons and win out on Overpass?
keep going till my speaker can't blow. I'll keep going till my speaker can't blow. I'll keep going till my speaker can't blow. I'll keep going till my I'll keep going till my I'll keep go till my speaker can't. I'll keep going till my speaker can't blow. 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 Going till my speaker can't blow. I'll keep going till my speaker can't blow. I'll keep going till my speaker can't blow. I'll keep going till my I'll keep going till my I'll keep go till my speaker can't blow. I'll keep going 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 till my speaker can't blow.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these wrestlers nice. All these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, they know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and Rolex account of Blueface. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brother since 6th grade. G-Wagon red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, I could like the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. What's a life without sacrifice? Sometimes you gotta thank God and just roll the dice. Pacino.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. How will I get out of the jungle? Everybody wanna stop me. 10 more steps up the mountain. Now everybody's looking for me. Spend my life in the desert till something changed inside of me. Now I'm flying over oceans. Everybody looking at me. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town.
Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes. And you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, yeah, you like it, the way you like it now. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, so good, so fresh. Get up on your feet. Show me you got.
A very chaotic first map here between the Red Canids and ODDIK. If you are just joining us, it's ECL Season 50. And the first map did go in Red Canids' favor. It was their map pick, of course, so that did go somewhat to be expected. But it was very odd. A lot of strange things happening around that map. I think most of us just want to kind of put it behind us, Freddie. So why don't we look forward to our second map of the series? It's going to be Overpass, and this, of course, being ODDIK's map pick. What are our expectations here? Because, I mean, it being their map pick, you expect them to do well, but if they perform like they did on Nuke, I am unconvinced.
Yeah, I almost want to say I don't know anymore, but for ODDIK, we are going from a big weakness of Nuke to a big strength of Overpass. In their last 8 games, they've won it 7 times, and the only time they have lost it was in a double overtime. So, you know, when they lose, it's pretty damn close. I am personally fairly confident in ODDIK's abilities on Overpass, and they've already showed it against Red Canids on LAN, and they've also beaten the likes of MIBR. So for me, it like kind of as soon as I headed into this series, I instantly had the inkling that like, okay, this is going to be a 3-mapper. This is going to be a pretty lengthy series. And I am a little bit confused coming out of map 1 potentially. But certainly for Red Canids, it feels like they got away with murder. They did light up a little bit though on the CT side, and specifically History on the AWP and Che Jesus, our player to watch. If those two can continue in a similar manner, then maybe Overpass, where they are a very big underdog, isn't a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that kind of shapes itself up, because as much as the first map was really crazy and a little bit out there, it was a fairly close one. ODDIK did reasonably well on their T side as well. Yeah, and I was actually surprised at how well they did, you know, with the attacks that they were mounting and getting through a lot of like the Red Canids defensive line. So very, very impressive stuff from them on that one. And if we can continue along with that trend, of course, the 2 maps that we have as our first 2 maps are 2 of the most CT sided maps in the entire pool. So that's always a fun one as well. And it does tend to lean or lend itself to whoever did not pick the map. But here we go, folks. We'll dive straight on into it. And of course, with it being ODDIK's map pick, Red Canids will be starting off on that CT side. It is the predictable one. I will say, the last time you and I cast this map, was it you and I? Where like nothing was happening on the CT side. It was all just T side from here up the wazoo. So, you know, stranger things have happened as we immediately find ourselves a little bit of aggression out towards Party, looking to get some information and gonna pull back now as they realize, okay, there's a couple of players angling their way over this way. So History now gonna be forced off again. And that should confirm the push coming in towards the A side. As I say push, not necessarily presence for sure, but no commitment made just yet.
No commitment, but I'd be surprised if they don't. And here we go. Utility out, flashbang. Doesn't really do anything. As the City side, they are all here ready and waiting. 4 defenders. Pank makes it 3. And it's all falling apart as both the CTs are huddled together in a mother's meeting behind truck. Drop with these dual Berettas trying to save the day. But he's not going to be able to stand up to the task. Red Canids now have to put their faith in Venom Zera as he solo tries to approach. Wait, what? What are they doing?
Hello?
They tap the bomb and then just look away. There must have been a miscommunication. Someone's must have said something like, watch behind, because they both spin around on a sixpence, and that is the freest 1v2 of Venom Zera's life.
Oh, that's egregious, man. Maybe they were expecting that the last player couldn't possibly be making their way up from CT. I don't know, but like you said, right, more than likely a miscommunication. Somebody was like,
Has to be.
I'm going to check long, you check somewhere else, you know, insert position here, and maybe it just got lost in the sauce.
It's the fact to me that both of them, like, they tap the bomb, look towards CT, and then both just go 180. It has to have been a miscomm. Has to have someone have said, he's behind you, or like, check behind you, and for some reason they both do it, or I heard him behind you. There's no way it isn't.
Should never have gone that way, but Venom Zera will be thanking his lucky stars that he timed that so perfectly. And of course, this next round going very much the way it should when you win out on that CT round. Deny that bomb from being planted. Already an opening frag, a ton of damage done onto Pankia. And Venom Zera again. Last time he was the last line of defense. Now he's that first line of defense, and he will activate perfectly. A ton of extra damage done as well. And this round, I mean, the bomb is still towards spawn, man. Even ODDIK weren't really expecting too much to come out of this one.
Yeah, they didn't really invest too much in. It's kind of the split up search for clues. Maybe you get something a little bit lucky with the rifles, but it doesn't. Oh, sorry, with the pistols, and you get a nice clean headshot somewhere. But that today hasn't amounted to anything. Actually, sorry, that's some nice shots from coldzera. It's not going to mean anything in necessarily the grand scheme of things, but that was actually some really individually just nice shots being landed from him. Does a little bit of extra damage that, you know, he goes a long way.
Some sharp shooting techs, as they say over in the Americas. I don't know, man. I'm not from America. A little bit of extra damage done. A little bit of extra cash. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, Freddy. It's that accent. Just can't quite place it. Could be American. Who knows?
I've got the... No, I'm the better version of America.
Ooh. I mean, you guys are also... You've also got a gun contingent, right?
Do we?
Don't you?
What? Is that... No, the whole... Well... I mean, I did call a Belgian player basically French earlier, so, you know, I'm on a roll today.
Oof. Yikes. I'm sure they absolutely loved that. Meanwhile, ODDIK have somehow garnered themselves a lot of space here. They've just kind of run over Red Canids, and Red Canids playing a little bit more of a proactive game. You can actually see where those crosses are across the map. They were trying to pincer a little bit, trying to make things uncomfortable, and it's they themselves who find themselves very much uncomfortable now. Only one player lost on ODDIK's side, and it's a really quick resurgence, exactly what they need on this map.
Yeah, exactly what the doctor ordered, especially on the T side. Getting on the board early in that manner is imperative. Red Canids, as we were talking about. I don't really know actually what we were talking about. Just isolating jewels across the map on their default and then ending towards B. Very clean indeed. They're going to be happy with that performance, that result.
That's a
Tactical pause
seriously
instantly
early timeout.
called. Yeah,
Holy.
that's actually kind of crazy to see an instant tactical timeout. And also, if you think about those 2 Deagle kills that coldzera got in that second round, it actually does cause a little bit of disruption to the economy. As we see this full purchase with kind of big quotation marks now come in for Red Canids.
We're going to have to see some results off of that one. You know what? You have the timeouts. You may as well use them, I suppose. How often don't we see a game go by where a timeout just doesn't get used? Sure, it's an early one, but if it does get them their results, then more power to them, I suppose. The boosted angle gets the kill onto Woody. Not too sure what Homie was doing, just kind of hanging out there. Oh my god, we're trying to follow it up. K-Stocks get caught with util out drop, just runs him over. Okay, free rifle garnet and a 2-player advantage for the Red Canids. That should give ODDIK a little bit of pause here. Oh, Nate, that could have been a free kill, but he repositions. The timings have been outrageous.
That's some crazy timing. And for the T side, their one big issue is just seeing if they can actually join up together, as they're so sporadic. Like coldzera gets spotted on long here, but he is just so far away and astrayed from any of his teammates who are currently chilling in quite literally T-spawn. ODDIK, their default is futile. They could do it against the full buy, but can't do it against the force. Nate might not realize, but knowing timing and knowing Counter-Strike, as soon as he turns around, he's going to get peeked on from behind.
The classic. This is crazy how this whole round is kind of turned on its head. We wondered about that timeout, but I don't know how much of it comes down to that, but proactivity is there. Space garnered, flank set up. They can leave 3 players on the site. Ooh, shots being fired from behind, and they're going to try to trade back on that, but unfortunately, they're now pincered in, and coldzera's the last one left alive. And oh man, picking an angle, picking a player, picking a person, and instead, he's going to pick the option to run the hell away, and they're going to try and run him down.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's unfortunate.
Ooh, it's not easy for Mr. coldzera. I was gonna say, like, when you were like, you know, the tactical timeout, I wonder if that played into it. I was like, he did get a jumping 5-7 kill.
Tactical jumping 5-7 kill for him.
I don't think there's any planning you can possibly do around that, but I was like, but yeah, that was just a really good round coming out from the CT side, and bit of an issue now for ODDIK, because that was their way in, and right back they lose the opening kill. Drop just spams through connector, and also there's just no money really on the board because of coldzera dying last round. This is a troublesome time for the ODDIK side.
Guarantee if we had access to the comms, or if we could have like an interview, we would hear that it was part of the plan. Trust me, guys, I'm gonna get a jumping 5-7 kill, and then the round is ours. I believe it. That's my headcanon.
I think if someone ever said that to me, I'd be like, say what now? Like, you're gonna do what? Anyways, but I'm looking at this right now. 4-man save. ODDIK. This is a nothing burger round.
That's kind of nuts, bro. Lose one player and they just kind of nope out of it. Freddie, you're the coach. What's the What is the thought process here?
Of the save?
Yeah.
Lose opening kill. And then just like, well, I think the issue for ODDIK here is that, yeah. What? Did you hear that?
Yeah, that was weird. What was that? We got demons in our headsets?
What the hell? Oh my god, sorry. I think someone just set off like... That's not, I'm not even gonna lie. That actually sounded just like a bomb got set off outside my window.
Brady, the bombs are only in the video game, I promise.
Okay, well... Oh, Jesus, sorry. That actually scared the living daylight out of me.
That was funny.
Okay.
I just heard like a weird distortion and I thought there was just like a demon in my headset.
No. It ain't no demon in no headsets. I call those demons IRL. But the save is just like, you know, you don't get away in. You lose so much HP. You lose all your utility. You have like, your default hasn't formulated whatsoever. And you just kind of sit there at a minute or like 50 seconds. And the T side, it's just so hard to get map control and overpass as the T side. If you don't already have it set up, if you don't have that HP, when you also have a mana disadvantage and you don't have that util. Sometimes, honestly, I wouldn't normally be a fan of it, but I think I do sit back and look at this and think, yeah, actually, that was the right call.
Oh, well, there you have it, sports fans, or esports fans. We talk about fighting our demons. It looks like ODDIK are desperately trying to fight their demons in this round as well. They've kind of chunked away the vast majority of their utility. And as you mentioned, right, that map control, very difficult to garner. I will say it's interesting because Red Canids are playing a very dynamic map control game. Like some rounds they'll get really, really aggressive and in your face and they'll take all of that space. And some rounds they'll just kind of chill and allow that space to be taken. History now flashed off of position, but he does survive. He gets swung on, brother. We hit the accelerator hard there. Che, it's a bit of a weird one. Just kind of runs out into the open and gets his head blown clean off. And, well, that's the site garnered for free for ODDIK. That should be a bomb plant. And honestly, I don't even think Red Cannon should go for this.
That's actually, yeah, I mean, I completely agree. That's just a crazy freebie. That Che and History get caught with their pants down, really lacking together in toilets. Like, when you've got an AWP and A1S there, there's no way you should be being isolated by an individual rifler. That is really kind of their own downfall. That is completely Red Cannon's wrongdoing and a bit of complacency that we saw a lot of that overall in map 1. And even more so here, because Nate's just got a freebie as Venom Zero was on the fencing outside a connector, just dies from heaven. So it's not even going to be those 3 players saved for Red Canids. As ODDIK, they struggle in the early doors of Overpass, but they're able to double down right here.
2 more rounds is all they really need on this T side as well. Like, you're going to have such a strong advantage moving into that next one. I did say that about Red Cannons in the previous map as well. They went ahead and won the half 7-5. So they had a massive advantage into that. But for ODDIK now, I mean, we've still got a few rounds remaining, so it's not like this is turning into a crazy runaway train either. There's still possibilities, and if they can keep up some of the momentum they have had up till this point, could stand them in good stead. Immediately, a barrage of utility to slow them down, however, and off the back of it, the Red Canids will back away. A little bit of damage done, so job's done, I suppose, for now, and they've baited out quite a bit of the early utility as well. But ODDIK have done well to kind of push back a little bit. I say push back. I mean, it was just Red Canids retreating. The wall of smokes gives ODDIK a bit of room to breathe. But as those dissipate now, the Red Canids will realize, hang on, no real ground has been taken just yet. They don't really have eyes on long. So I'm hoping that, there you go. We've got a little bit of presence there. Drop's going to check that out and make sure, okay, guys, long's all clear. We're good to go. Huh. I did see the flash come out there, so I guess Cowers just had no idea what was happening, but he just gets run over. So water's been given over for free. Che gets a free kill off of the HE clearing the smoke, doesn't get traded either, and can just back away. So yet again, not another true first blood. It is traded. The time now continues to tick away. We're about to hit that 30-second mark, and Exec is going to need to come in, and nothing is happening.
Looks like they're going over towards B, but that's a super proactive boost. Drops the bomb over in connector. That's not only a kill to give them the advantage, but that bomb needs to be picked up, and it doesn't look like it will. Cold Zero finally gets to it, but Drop delivers a deadly double. That is a monumental round from him. Super proactive gameplay coming out on the CT side, and ODDIK, they are just unable to string rounds together as they look suddenly miserable on this T side.
It's another round like the one on Nuke where they have a plan, they start taking space, they get to kind of almost a kind of sort of position. We hit like the 30 to 20 second mark and they just go, nah, we don't have time, we're just gonna back away. Like, it's so weird. They can't really find those advantages and properly press them, unfortunately. And then, of course, losing the bomb on their way in does not help the situation whatsoever. So a timeout now to be taken by ODDIK. I think they're realizing, guys, we are overcooking so many of these rounds. And sometimes when we have that advantage, we just need to push. Yes, you can shoot yourself in the foot with that. If you get a little bit too aggressive, you can find yourself caught out of position and then get shut down. But if you're constantly slowing down to the extent that they are doing, that's just as detrimental.
Yeah, I just want to come back and say I also really just love that B defense towards the end. Like, that's actually really clinical for Red Canids, and I would have assumed that that would be the type of defense, or rather just kind of gameplay in general we saw from ODDIK, as they're the ones who have won 6 in a row, won 7 out of their last 8 on this map. Like, this has been a pretty difficult affair, Overpass in general for Red Canids. Sure, they've got like a double overtime loss against MIBR, but the only time they've won is like Flamengo. Yes, and like 2 game. You know, they don't play this map very often. They look super drilled, and honestly, really just sound awareness as they not out of the woods just yet. Like, if I look at this scoreline, there's still so much availability for ODDIK to make a comeback into this T side and make this actually a very kind of redeeming half. Especially considering, you know, Red Canids 1 pistol, which probably should have never have done in the first place, though.
All right. So let's see if there are any adaptations to be seen here off the back of that timeout. Hopefully a change in pace at the very least. Very close to the end of the half as well. 5 rounds remaining. Okay, Pank, nice little opener there onto Venom Zero. Shut down that aggression. That wasn't even the aggressive player. It took me a second to find where he was. He was all the way on the B side. All of the aggressive players get out scot-free, but they lose that first opening player. So they have to back away a lot faster, I think, than what they would have originally wanted to. Yeah. And now they have to scramble, spread themselves thin, reinforce where the gaps are, because that is a huge possibility for ODDIK now.
ODDIK have this round in the palm of their hands. But they're playing into the hands of Red Canids if they go up connected with this bomb. Currently, Canids is completely by himself towards B, and they're very happy just to leave him there and say, you know, if they go B, we lose the round. We save 3 players. But if they go A, we're going to have a real good shot at this. And with 45 seconds left, ODDIK, they're going to come here? That smoke terrifies me, because that might actually push them away back towards B.
It's not a terribly deep smoke, though. Oh, have they spotted him out? History just holds his nerve, but the communication is perfect. The secondary swing through bathroom works out wonderfully. Drops now all alone on the site. Oh Good for 2. Oh my god, that was nearly a third as well, but he survives that little bit longer, and it's all going to come down to Cowards. Now, ODDIK, do not overthink this one. There was a world in which they pulled back, head over towards that B site, and maybe in the back of your mind, you're thinking, oh, would it have been the worst thing? There's only 1 player there. But remember that rotations are so quick for the CTs now, and if you take too long, if you show that you might be rotating, they're going to be really quick to cut you off. So Cowards, instead of going to push for this, is instead just going to hang out, hold on to the weapon, wait for the next round. Signs of life, finally, from ODDIK.
It's science for life for ODDIK, as in like that was a really nice opening kill from Pank towards B, and they just kind of brute force their way towards A. But there's definitely question marks over Che and history as well. I think especially history in towards toilets there. Like that's really disappointing that Drop gets 2 kills, and that should have been a round-winning play. Like Drop getting those 2 kills should have ordinarily meant that it was a either done round because it was 2 alive, or it's a 1v1 for was Cowards at the end. But Che and history, they get aggressive and they get nothing from it. That's actually just super disappointing from them. And Red Canids, with their backs against the wall, they're going in for a force buy. I don't know if that's necessary. And all of a sudden, just as I was saying in that previous tech pause, ODDIK 2-5, like they've still got a long way left in this half that they can redeem themselves, and it looks like they've already just done it here, because if they win against this force buy, that's basically just 5-5 given over to a T side.
Hopefully we'll get this technical issue sorted out as quickly as possible, folks. So please do just bear with us a little bit longer. And honestly, Che in history, like it's not even the first time that we've seen them maybe getting a little bit too aggressive and being caught out for it. Maybe it's an overconfidence play. I'm not entirely sure what the thought process there was, but it's happened a couple of times now where they've been caught out kind of on site somewhere or out in the open a little bit, and it gives over way too many opportunities for ODDIK to come back into a round where they could actually have stemmed that tide a lot better. It looked for a moment like we were getting back in, but the demons persist. And so do we, Freddy. Or at least the demons that are, I don't know, popping bubble wrap outside your house.
I have had some of the like worst luck when it comes to being scared on broadcast. I actually like fully fell out. Sorry, this is a really weird story. Basically, when I was at university, when I was starting commentating, our university block, it was like 6 stories. I was on the top floor, and on my right, our windows were like floor to ceiling windows. And it was basically like the whole wall was was glass, and there was like a window on the right side of it. So my desk, I've got this massive like glass window to my right. Unbeknownst to me, people have to clean those windows.
Right.
Wasn't aware that, like, you know, just never crossed my mind. I remember it was like a super long. It was only 2 best of 3s in a day. This day, but I remember it being like super long. I remember it being like 3rd map, overtime, tech pause. I was with Retro. I remember this. We were talking about like A-level results and how he failed maths or something like that. We were in like a really long tech pause, just super long day, right? And I was ready. I remember I was like thinking about what I was gonna have for dinner. I was like chilling. I turned to my right, and there's just like full on just a man in my window. Like he was just there, like obviously like on a rope. Like he was, I don't know what they were doing, but oh my God, I genuinely like flipped out of my chair and screamed, like actually like fully screamed, because he was just there just staring at me. And oh my God, I remember like finishing the cast and having to go like lie down in our like kitchen, and my heart for like an hour afterwards was just like bum, 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 bum. Because I mean, I was 6 stories up. Would you expect someone just in your window?
It is hilarious to me that it hadn't crossed your mind that someone might need to go and wash those windows at some point.
Yeah, okay. That is like, that fact, it doesn't even matter, because would you ever expect, you know, like 2, you know, I think it was like 6 maps in a day, overtime, tech pause, boom, 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 boom. I just genuinely flipped out. Like I just threw myself backwards out of my chair.
At least you didn't throw yourself backwards out the window, so that's something.
Well, it was like, you know, anti-suicide locks or whatever on them, I think.
Good tech to have.
Good.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, I think that the friendly window washer would have saved you. I
honestly, the little bugger, I remember looking over and he was smiling because he knew what he'd done. He knew what he'd done. And I wonder if he just went down and did that to everyone.
Yeah, it seems very likely. I think if I was a window cleaner or a window maintenance person, I would probably do the same. And well, we're going to let Freddie recover from the bubble wrap incident of 2025. So guys, we're going to throw this to a quick break. Seems the tech issues are persisting. We'll come back as soon as we possibly can. So you know what, go grab a drink. And when we're ready, we'll jump back into our second map of the series.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been testing so much, all these wrestlers nice. All these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, ain't know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and Rolex account or blue face. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brothers since 6th grade. G-Wagon red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, I could like the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on the better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. What's a life without sacrifice? Sometimes you gotta thank God and just roll the dice. Pacino.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. How will I get out of the jungle? Everybody wanna stop me. 10 more steps up the mountain. Now everybody's looking for me. Spend my life in the desert till something changed inside of me. Now I'm flying over oceans. Everybody looking at me. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town.
I know you might have been terrified, but do not worry, we are back. I have made sure that there will be no more jump scares. And it is full focus Counter-Strike as Red Canids, as we return back to play. Gotta remember, they're in a bit of a nightmare position. A pretty janky force buy. They lose this, and it may as well be a 5-5 T-half for ODDIK.
And let's face it, the chances of them winning this round are fairly low. The buy is not ideal by any measure. And already a little bit of early chip damage done there, trying to garner some information early on, but no luck to be had. Good map control down towards long and, towards bathrooms as well, but no one there. Nobody's home. So they might just have to hang out for a little bit longer. ODDIK with a slight walk up. There was a little bit of utility being used here and a couple of players get spotted out. So it's not a total walkout, but they are, making very little noise. Finally now they'll start to mount this exec. Cowers gets flashed back behind the pillar, trying desperately, ducking and diving with this MP9, trying to find an opener, but no, unfortunately, the two defenders on site will be shut down. The bomb's going to get planted, and I don't see a world in which Red Canids go for this. The last three players likely to just go for the save here. Maybe Che with the 5-7 going to try and find an exit or two. But those guns are going to be saved, kept for the next, and as predicted, it will be a fourth for ODDIK.
It's going to be a 4 for ODDIK, but it's not going to be necessarily a freebie onto 5 now, as Red Canids, they do save, which means an ordinarily eco round and a non-resistant round has some oomph to it on the 5-7 for Mass and A1S. Red Canids, they gamble stack towards A. And ODDIK, they just play a super simple slow T side in that round. Like, they know what they're up against. They don't force any measures, and then just fully exec on the bomb side they're choosing. And they also then subsequently choose correctly, which massively helps. So for Red Canids, they're gonna have just 2 players on USPs, and then you kind of look at someone like Drop to just have a crazy round with the A1S. He has been playing seriously good Counter-Strike on Overpass, so I don't think it's out of the question for maybe some heroics to happen, but it's gonna have to be like heroics and some more, which is a lot to ask for from someone.
It's unfortunate for the Canids after such a dominant performance on that first map and looking to be a little bit lost at the moment. Really struggled to find any footing into this round. Oh, that's a nasty little HE there. The boosted position, quite a bit of damage done early on. To ODDIK's credit, they're not trying to peak where this somewhat predicted boost would be. K-Sox gets the kill onto Shay. Oh, probably comms that there's a second there, so Pank swings it. History will go down as well. And it's another round that there you have it, folks. I think we knew coming into this that's how it was going to look. There have been crazier eco rounds where teams have been able to slow things down a little bit and, I don't know, get some really crazy results despite everything. But this not likely to be one of those rounds, unfortunately. We'll steal away a gun to kind of bolster that next round. But at the end of this one, there'll be 2 rounds remaining in the half. Now, the Canids are going to be able to come in with a bye into the next round. So that's going to stand them up a little bit higher and make it a little bit easier for them to actually make some magic happen. Oh, I thought maybe they could get an extra kill here, but no, the FAMAS has been taken away.
There's just no point, though.
Why are they still hanging around? I guess you want to maybe try and get some exits, but we're at a point now where it's not going to make a massive difference, so it's really weird.
Like, the FAMAS? Like, I'm you know, it's better to have a FAMAS and full utility than an A1S and no util, in my humble opinion. So, you know, whatever, like, I don't really care that someone hunted with FAMAS no armor. A1S with armor, I don't really understand that from drop. Like, a kill here does not matter. The T side, they'll kill themselves for you. But like K-Slox, you know, everyone has 8k. They have enough money for the rest of his half. Drop, if he saved that A1S, he'd be able to drop over a rifle. But instead, let's just kind of take a look at the economy, right? Like, it's 2,400 loss bonus, and there isn't going to be that AWP out. Wow, they've just bought up a FAMAS again. Shocker. And like, drop doesn't have full utility. Imagine if he just saved last round. Like, it just doesn't really make any sense. For ODDIK, though, that's back-to-back rounds where they just don't leave anything to chance and just play very slow style and never get interrupted. And because of that, they've got 5 rounds on the T side of Overpass.
Could still make it a 6th as well. Give them a little bit of time to work it out. That timeout that they took a couple rounds back certainly does seem to have made a little bit of a difference. And unsure what was actually said in it, but it's got to be something along the lines of stop overthinking it, guys. Just play. You know the old classico buzzword, play your game?
Shoot heads.
That's... could have been the conversation that was had there.
They've stopped overcomplicating things. Like, they've stopped and they've stopped kind of forcing issues, and they've just kind of stuck together and playing deathball Counter-Strike, where they know it can work against these type of purchases, and a team like Red Canids, who are a team that struggles on Overpass, and it looks like it's going to work this round again as they head towards B with only 2 defenders there.
The magic of having a map pick. Ooh, Venom Zero is going to have to play serious happy feet here. He's in such a tight spot and already has taken so much damage, gets swung on massively. History now trying to battle it back. The repeat was a bit of a weird one there. Could have waited it out a little bit longer or possibly pulled back and tried to regroup with the rest of the squad. But if he does get a kill there, well, then you're in a 3v3 and then it's a doable situation. But it doesn't go that way. ODDIK will find that 6th round. And the Red Canids, how many rounds has it been now? 3, 4? That they just haven't been able to get a round win? It's starting to look a lot more dominant from the ODDIK squad on a half where they maybe shouldn't be getting this much value. That being said, they did actually manage to do fairly well on their T side on Nuke as well. It wasn't good enough, but they were still putting up a really solid showing for themselves. Oh, this save is going to be denied, isn't it? Oh, they've hunted it down. That's devastating.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? ODDIK were... Sorry, no, Red Canids were 4-1 up on their CT side.
Damn.
Pretty sure that's correct. Yeah, 4-1 up, if I'm not mistaken. So it's got a little bit difficult for them since, and I just feel that they've never had a good purchase. History was so good on the AWP on the CT side of Nuke. Wait, has he ever had the AWP on Overpass? There's just been really poor economy, and ODDIK, they're playing very simple Overpass, and it's working to their favor. Their trades are immaculate, their entries are clean, and apart from drop, Red Canids have had very little to zero contestion.
A little bit labored on the second, but it does connect.
Fair play.
This is, it's looking like a repeat of Nuke, but in the opposite situation, right? It was Red Canids that went in at a 7-5 half on their T side, and was looking like ODDIK might just be able to do the same on their own map pick now. Yes, there is a little bit of a trade back. Bomb's still kind of chilling at the moment. I hope we haven't kind of overcooked things a little bit once again. But with a little bit of poking and prodding around the map here, a little bit of extra utility to stop rotations where we don't want them to be. And we can start moving that bomb over towards the B site. It's a fairly, you know, unguarded site. Oh, God. Oh, God. coldzera doesn't even consider that there could be somebody in that underpass there. Loses his life, and suddenly we're back into a 3v3 scenario. A free AK handed on over. Cowish should be able to retrieve as well. So there you go. There's the second AK. And now, boys, we're in a position where some shenanigans could come to life. No kit available, so time is going to be of the essence here. It's going to have to be perfectly executed. Cowish needs to not get overly aggressive unnecessarily. He does just that, and he gets taken out for it. And now the possibility they had of mounting a retake could be dwindling away from them. Venom Zero with the MP9 up close and personal, but Woody is still alive and still being a nightmare. 7-5, a repeat of Nuke, but in the reverse.
An extremely dominant way to end off the first half of ODDIK's map pick. Woody with a really silencing three-piece on the AWP in round 12 to mark himself higher on the scoreboard than his opposition AWPer while History was on the City side. Don't get to say that very much often, but Red Canids, they threw away the first pistol round. This time, well, it doesn't feel like they're going to throw it away. They're just going to lose it.
Yeah, certainly kicking things off with a little bit of a bang here, but we'll trade back a little bit, make this a bit more of a contested affair. The bomb's now lost on the site. Woody getting into a solid position here. Ooh, but now he's all alone. Gets the first, can't connect onto the last. He was the hero in the final round of the first half, but the first round of the second half, he can't quite hit those 2 shots.
What about the second round of the second half? Sorry, we got all the rounds. That's actually really good to see History maybe just step up at least in some area. But it's actually crazy that Red Canids has now won both pistol rounds in a clutch manner, and it's even crazier that they've won that pistol round after getting a really super clean double entry. ODDIK, they really contend that, you know, they make that super close, but just at the very last moment lose out on the clutch. History, he's had a slow one, he's had a very rough affair, which is surprising considering he ended Nuke so strong, but it is actually going to be that ODDIK force buy. They're not looking to just sit back and roll over.
Jesus, okay.
Cheerio.
Nasty little shot there. The force buy already starting to pay off a little bit, yeah. Oh, no shot, bro. Oh, Venom 0, that's so unfortunate. All right, 2 very early kills with the MP9, both of them from Nate. K-Slox will get one of his own as well. ODDIK, so cheeky with it. This force buy has massively paid out.
No foul in spawn, drops just like, what? What's crazy is that Drops bought a Tech 9 and utility in this round, and he hasn't overspent, and his teammates have just all died and shot with the rifles. Also, it's funny because that second kill Nate got, the jump shot, like the kind of jump boost. So that obviously was very popular in CSGO because it's just overpowered, and you also get information more than anything in some cases. But what's amusing to see it actually get a kill in a round like this was that in the MP9 nerf that came, like, what was it, a couple months ago? I don't know, time is a whatever. But that sort of play theoretically got nerfed in, like, specifically, you know, that like jump accuracy got nerfed, and he still gets away with murder. But his easiest shot, he completely misses Drop after the time had ticked over while Drop wasn't looking at him. Luckily he survives, but for Red Canids, sit down.
Yikes, yeah. I mean, having it snatched away from you after you win the pistol round, that economic reset can become a huge problem, as we're seeing right now. We do have quite a bit of utility here, so of course, with all of the Tech 9s, this should be a bit of a powerhouse move. No, normally if you're going to do something like that, you're going to deathball a little bit more, but they've spread up hugely across the map here. And they've already used quite a bit of their utility, so it's not going to be the classic round. Oh my god. Nate spotted out, was that History that just ran across the field there? And he's allowed to just stay in his position. He's going to be able to get in behind them. He's got the shot onto History, trades up to a Galil, and slips away into that sweet good night. Or does he? Because now we've got a little bit of a contestation. How has Cowers gone and done that with a Tech 9, brother? That should never have happened. All right, well, Galil should be recovered there. But is it going to make much of a difference in this round? The Red Canids now posturing for that potential B hit. But again, they've used a lot of that utility, and time could become a factor here. Pank just spotting out a little bit, trying to see if anybody shows face. Util in hand, waiting to shut that down. The Galil has met back up with the rest of the team, spots out the first, smoke to come out, Molotov to follow, they run straight through it. The Mac 10 is good for 1, but it's an instant double trade. Colzera up on high for 2, and now last player left alive. How Drop? Okay, 1v1. trying to find something better, some sort of a something gun that isn't a Tech 9. He's not finding it, man. And oh, Galil, I mean, an AK has been picked up. How is he still not dead? Woody, hello, Woody, can't connect the shots and drop his clutch the round. I'm actually crashing out.
Yeah, my hands are firmly in my head.
Your hands are in your head? That's crazy.
Wait, my head's in my hand. So yeah, you know what? Nothing is not possible after that round. Just an awful setup from the CT side to begin with, like that double close monster when you're dropping the smoke and mollo like incorrectly as well. Like the mollo, they don't go through it, they go around it. It just misses. And then like Cold Zero gets a dub, you know, fair play. Like he was the best player in the world 2 years in a row. And he still shows that he can play at that level up against his former teammates. But then, like, what are we doing? How is Drop able to get away with this? Then he just...
Oh my god, bro.
Drop misses the flashbang and COD, and Venom's error is like, that don't matter to me.
And despite that win, obviously money's still a bit of a problem here for the Canids because they lost so many players in that one. So they're managing to kind of scrape something together, but in the beginnings of this round, they're still able to get a double kill. So ODDIK now, again, kind of floundering a little bit.
What?
But how? Where? Okay, that's out towards long. Oh my god, Woody's missed the shot. He's going to be forced off of his position. So only 2 players remain down towards the A site. Pank's going to get his onto Cowers. And they're just going to run away. This is a good call. This is such a good read. They've already pivoted over towards the B site. Venom Zera in position. Does get shut down by Pank, who has stepped up a little bit more than what we saw earlier on Nuke. Not much more, but a little bit. They have reinforced this site. Okay, Che just runs over Woody with the Mac 10, picks up the AWP, final shot onto Pank to shut him down, and we're now at an evened out scoreline.
Yeah, I was actually for a moment kind of hopeful of what that round was going to contribute when ODDIK, even though it was a 2 versus 3, like 2 versus 4 or whatever it was, like they get the really instant correct read and catch that first player just completely unexpected. I was very unaware. But then in the 2v3, it's just like Woody forced out of heaven because the smoke just dives into water, kind of falls to his grave eventually, and the CT player also isolated. Regardless though, the main narrative has to be Red Canids are giving us a serious case to believe on their T side, and this comes after just a very disappointing defense. I'm getting like deja vu of Nuke, of just like I'm sitting here and I'm like, Red Canids are winning. I don't quite believe it, but they're still winning nonetheless. On Overpass, it's Drop, and it's all Drop. He's winning up clutches. On the CT side, the only time they won rounds was because of Drop, and even coming into that previous, sets up Venom Zero and even gets kills to add to his own tally. He is having a phenomenal performance, and he's just having such high impact. Like 12-7, you're probably thinking, why is he talking so much about him? It literally, Red Canids are on 8 because of Drop.
It's insanity. And of course, that timeout that came through was certainly a needed one, because ODDIK are like, how the hell have we done this, guys? We've reset the economy in round 2, and then we just get our teeth kicked in for the next 2 rounds. Like, what are we doing here, guys? And unfortunately, the technical issues seemingly are not, completely resolved. Just so that you guys are aware, we had to take issue, we had to change servers, and then CS had an update. So there's a lot of crazy things happening at the moment, and updates can leave things a bit spicy.
I wonder what update we're playing on actually right now. Because, so the reason why I mentioned that is there was the beta that was shown of like the defuse, and like you come off the defuse later. So that update's just been pushed. That was the update. Yeah. And also performance. So I think it was making it better performance, which is exciting. So reworked bullet penetration simulation to reduce CPU usage. Whatever that means. Okay, overall reducing CPU usage when players are shooting. That sounds good. I like the sound of
does
that.
sound good.
And I also like the look of that from Drop.
Yeah. I was wondering if it was going to be the defuse change. Do you think that makes much of a difference since we've got a little bit of downtime?
I was honestly, like, I understand what it means in theory of as a delay in firing when you exit the defuse. 150 milliseconds isn't... Like, I haven't tested it out by no means. So I think the issue was you can't scope. But
Yes.
I honestly, I'm just going to have to test it out. When I was watching, I was like, I can't see a difference, but I don't think that's the point. I think it's just like you feel the difference. So I'm going to have to really look at that because I honestly feel like my instinct has been it got way blown out of proportion.
Yeah. I think maybe they're feeling like too many people are able to kind of start a stick and then get swung on and still somehow, you know, win that battle out.
I think it nerfs that like massively. That I don't have to test to know that like tapping, you can't just randomly like tap a bomb anymore.
Yeah, because that was quite strong. And you know what? We've been saying for years that pros don't fake, so now we've got to put our money where our mouth is.
Yeah, now
more
it's
faking.
like you really like it does change up how players will approach these post plants, and I think it's actually going to take a long time to get used to, but I don't know. Let's see.
Oh, Nate. Okay, I didn't even think he was going to be able to get one there, but he does before he's traded out. But again, potentially a bit of over-aggression here. Nowhere to retreat to, no one to trade off of him either. So we go 1 for 1. ODDIK. The last time they took a pause after losing a couple of rounds, we saw some really solid resurgences from them. The timing on that was very unfortunate on that flash. And unfortunately, Che gets caught out in no man's land. Oh my god, Woody, and he's still able to get one. He unscopes, changes his POV, but still manages to get a kill before he's traded out. They're not going to be able to stop this bomb from being planted, but it's 2 versus 2. Okay, drop. Now we're seeing the drop that we want to be seeing. Beautiful shots connecting there. Coldzera now, the entirety of his team on his back. Can he show up the player that we expect him to be? Nice flick to get that first, but Venom Zero was the low HP player. He now has to somehow come out on top against drop time. Not on his side, doesn't have a kit available, taps the bomb. Baits out the swing, but it's not a wide enough swing and can't quite get the final shot. Picks up the AWP, but no, he's not going to be able to keep that one. Ooh. I thought Drop was going to get that kill, but no, it's the bomb. And Drop's going to say thank you for the AWP delivery service, and he'll be able to keep that AWP into the next round.
Yeah, I mean, Drop, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Doesn't even to get a kill. His just presence alone, his aura is enough to force ODDIK to bow down before him. How many kills has he got? He's got like 6 kills in 2 rounds, I'm pretty sure. So fair play. Like he's just, I mean, one was against an eco, so it's kind of like, eh. But Red Canids, that could have just, that round actually could just be it. And even though Woody does superb to get 1 kill on the AWP, ODDIK, this just death bull style of T-side Counter-Strike, mimicking, well, that was what ODDIK were like, and Red Canids are kind of like mimicking that on their T-side. ODDIK are floundering. ODDIK are on their map pick. They had everything going their way. They lose the second half pistol round, but then win the conversion. So you're sitting there thinking, yeah, you know, there's no issue, there's no bother whatsoever about it, and yet it's still worrying. And history, he isn't getting kills with the AWP on the CT side, but hell, he'll get the opening kills on the T side, because why does that doesn't make any sense, but when does it ever?
Honestly, when has anything in this entire series made sense? So, fair enough. I will say, for a team that's going to be going to the major, this is the kind of look, the kind of like ability to bounce back that you want to be seeing from them. I think if they lost this series, it would really kind of bode well for it wouldn't bode well for expectations on them going into that later on in the year. So this is kind of what we want to be seeing, and hopefully, you know, that's kind of reflection of things to come later on. And of course, the flip side of that is also pretty exciting for a team like ODDIK to continue to keep pushing, making these games as close as they have been. Yes, it's been really messy, and could they go back and VOD review a little bit more and tighten up, clean up here and there, rely a little bit less on hero plays? Absolutely. But the fact that they're still getting so much done, pushing as hard as they have been, it's a really, really good sign for their own futures. But Red Canids are going to bring themselves up to 11 now, and we're very close to the end of the line.
It almost feels like it's actually more important for ODDIK to win this game, just because they don't have that major. You know, they missed out on it by quite literally 16 points to Red Canids. That's got a 11th place. They were the first losers. That sucks, right, for ODDIK. So for me, Red Canids, sure, it's important they do well in tournaments like this on the run-up to the major, just so they have that good form. But they've still got the major. In the end, you know, Red Canids, they're not going to win the major. They're not going to make even probably stage 3. They're probably not going to make stage 2. They've made the major, though. Mission complete. ODDIK, they haven't got that, and they haven't got anything to really go. You know, they work super hard and they've got nothing to show for it, unfortunately, apart from like internal gratitude and experience of like, oh, we did well, we got some good results. So for them, these tournaments, these sort of like close qualifiers, are probably even more important than before, so they can actually get something out of the end of 2025 here.
God, I can't believe we're almost at the end of 2025. What? Where has this year gone? Flown by in the blink of an eye. Not like this game. This game has drawn itself out.
It is like scratching your nails on a whiteboard.
I feel like I'm crashing out a lot less on this map than I was in the first map, at least. So we got that going for us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just terrified someone's gonna. I don't know what's lurking outside my house anymore after this game. Throwback.
Oh, Venom Zero ahead of the utility. The flash is beautiful. Gets that first kill. Just gets instantly smacked straight back down. But they found their way onto the site now. Advantage Red Canids. Nope, Caselox is still alive. Double kill for him. They're not openers, but they're certainly impactful. Now history has the whole world on his shoulders. A 1 versus 4 is what it's going to take to make this miracle happen. Catches out the first, but position telegraphed after that point. ODDIK bring it back into their control. One more round. Maybe that timeout was a little bit more impactful than we gave them credit for.
Such a weird position for Caselox, but it works out. Venom Zera, sure, he dies after his opening kill, but he's made the space. Like, he's opened up his round. He's done his job for this team, but Caselox just gets completely overlooked. Actual real negligence for Red Canids that they allow someone who was basically out in the open behind a very awkward smoke to get a double there. Like, sure, history does good to deal extra damage and keep the economy tight for ODDIK, but Red Canids, that is a really disappointing round to lose, and they are not out of this series just yet, especially now as Nate opens up proceedings in round 21.
I don't know. Overtime feels like a possibility here. Oh, can't get a second, unfortunately. Maybe getting a little bit too eager. A little bit too greedy. Oh, Woody. Oh, he's just waiting for someone to swing into his crosshairs. Venom Zero has the inkling that maybe there's some shenanigans to be had down below. So they haven't pushed into it just yet. I like the slower play here. We're trying to, and they're baiting out a lot of utility. The lack of not awareness so much as lack of knowledge, lack of information for ODDIK. Playing nicely, but if we hear a step and Venom Zero ready and waiting, had the inkling, held on to it, and it paid off. But now they only know where one player is. They know where Venom Zero is. They don't know anything else about anything else, and they just have to hold their nerve. Yes, running out of time now, but Cowers gets the first kill onto the site. Coldzera still alive, gets the first. Util caught out there, but does get run over. Not before he gets a second. Not going to stop that, but excuse me? Trying to plant through the fire and the flames because the time has run out. The planter gets killed. No one's covering him. And a round that could have been a Canids round goes the way of ODDIK.
I mean, that is simply all drop right there. Like all Coldzera. The only reason that round is won is because Coldzera is able to get one and just kind of dance around the bomb site, make it super uneasy for Red Canids. So when he does drop needs to instantly get on that bomb, and he has to pick his poison right. Do I plant for CT? Do I plant for banana? And unfortunately, his teammate was just in no position to cover him well anywhere, so he plants out in the open. Bomb never even goes down. Red Canids have no money, and even though ODDIK did get the opener in that round, Nate gave them an early 5v4. When all the dust settled, Red Canids, they were the one who brought it back. They were the one who fumbled that 4 versus 3 as they just took the time way too low, and that was actually one of their main issues on Nuke T side. It didn't seem to formulate to be a problem on many of the occasions, but they lost 4 spies solely because of the time. And right here, right now, the dying embers on Overpass, they may have just fumbled this 2-0 because of time.
Not even the first time that we're seeing something like that happening, but it is, I think, the first time that we're seeing it happen to the Red Canids. ODDIK fell victim to that a couple of times over the course of the last 2 maps, but now it's the Canids' turn to shoot themselves in the foot a little bit with limited, maybe not limited, but certainly not ideal weaponry, right? I mean, you still got the AWP, you still got 1 AK, but you got 2 people chilling on Tech 9s. They did have a smattering of utility to try and play off of. Let's see if we overcook this round as well. Good map control taken from ODDIK as well. Nothing towards kind of long side, but you've got eyes towards party, so if there is movement going that way, then you might be able to kind of pick up on that. They're realizing that there's not too much happening over towards A, so rotations will start to come in, but already Venomzera has rushed out onto the site. We'll get one before he's put into the grave, but Shay is still alive. Shay is still a problem. 2 with the Galil now. Nate, no, please don't do this again, Nate. It wouldn't be the first time that he's been a little bit too aggressive and been punished for it, but this time he makes the right call. He backs away. And perhaps it's going to be a full-on save. The Tech 9 that opens up the round has done so much to bring Canids back into a contestable scenario here that ODDIK don't really have a way back into this round. They do have a kit, but 2 versus 4, you're not going to take that fight. Never. Not when you're so close to the end. What's that?
They're hanging around. Sorry, I had like in the back of my head there that Woody was just going to jump out of heaven and defuse. For some reason, that would align with what's been going on in this map. But to look at Venomzera and to see what he did, that's exactly what he did 2 rounds ago when he opened up the B bomb site, but his teammates were not able to deliver upon what he had created. This time around, he creates that space, and Che, who was returned back to Tier 1 Counter-Strike on Red Canids. Not quite, almost there. He's made the major, but, you know, asterisks. He's the one who delivers upon that space being created. That was a very brazen purchase, even buying into that for Red Canids, because if they lose that, that would be actually just handing over maybe 12 to ODDIK. That's like a crazy risky call to buy into it, but fortune favors the bold. Fortune favors the brave, and now Red Canids, with momentum on their side and 2 rounds to work with, they're looking to close it out here, right now. And they started off with 2 kills for the price of 1 out towards short.
Map and series point here, and Cowers continues the reign of terror up to 2 kills, looking to make it a 3rd, and he does just that. Only Nate left alive now. The world on his shoulders. Atlas made manifest in this game. But the weight of the world is heavy, and he will not be allowed to hold on any longer. 13-10, the Red Canids take their opponent's map pick. They won their own map pick as well, and they snag the series in a 2-0 fashion. We were kind of expecting that third map. We were thinking there was a world, there was a possibility, but somehow on the T side, the Red Canids looked even cleaner than they did on their CT half.
Doesn't make any sense. Here's better with the AWP on the T side than it on the CT side. And I think the big difference maker though was that on the CT side, a lot of the rounds came from just drop and drop and drop. And even though that was certainly the case, a lot of the times on the T side, you have Venom Zera creating space and being a very pivotal part on his entry frags, with also Che stepping up there in those kind of final moments. And Red Canids overall are going to be very pleased with that Kawes triple kill towards the end. Final round, he does it all, takes matters into his own hands, and Red Canids, they beat ODDIK to the major by 18 VRS points, and now they beat them to the punch to the upper bracket finals in the third South American Cup in ESL Challenger League Season 50. They will be competing up against Dusty Roots, who I would ordinarily say Red Canids have that win every day of the week. Dusty Roots did just beat Sharks earlier on in this tournament, which is a really convincing win, and you never really know what happens in South America.
That's the young Sharks, right? So that's... Are they...
Young? Huh?
I don't know.
Just Sharks. Oh yeah, sorry, Young Sharks. Like I well, as in like they used to be. I think the org was called like Young Sharks, but it's just like
I thought it was like an academy team shenanigan. Okay,
no,
fair enough.
I honestly can't explain anything more than that. But like now, I think they're just Sharks.
Fair enough. It looks like our lower bracket games are still going on, one apiece across the board there. I think 2-game. The fact that they made it into the grand final in the previous cup would be a bit of an unfortunate ending for them to go out here. Meanwhile, Shinden versus La Champions Liga happening as well, the 1-1 over there. Got to see a little bit of Shinden in the IASF, so they had ridiculously good performance there. But I think they were, did they just win? Oh, well, there you go. I was about to say, they had a really good performance there, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them doing well, and doing well they do. So they will move on in that lower bracket. But that's going to be us here, done and dusted for South America. Now remember guys, a little bit later on, North America will be coming at you, so if you're interested in checking that out, you better stick around and get yourselves ready for it. But from Freddie and myself, that's going to be us wrapping up for the day. Thank you so much for hanging out, and make sure to be back for North America a little bit later on. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Ciao.
ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, and Qiddiya.